Welcome to Please Me, the award-winning bilingual sexuality podcast bringing you bold conversations and big clit energy. Sí, Please Me tiene subtítulos en español. I'm thrilled to announce that Please Me is the #1 ranked sexuality podcast in the USA and worldwide. And welcome to Season 6. I'm Eve, your host on a journey from trauma to sexual liberation. Join me and my guests as we dive into conversations around orgasm equality, self-love, body positivity, and essential sex education. Let's reclaim pleasure and close the orgasm gap, one empowering conversation at a time. Did you catch part 1 of this 2-part episode on male enhancement? If not, start there first, then come back for part 2, where I have a real, unfiltered conversation with Sam Itshaki about how many men tie their confidence to what's happening below the belt. We also dive into a role play that's very relevant in today's dating world, one you won't want to miss. Missed my webinar, Let's Talk Length, Girth, and Health, a no BS Q&A for men? Good news, it'll soon be available as bonus content on Patreon. I fund the show entirely myself, and every new Patreon subscriber literally helps keep it alive and growing. I'm putting everything I've got into making Please Me, so if you've ever thought about supporting the show, now's the time. Join the community for ad-free episodes, early releases, exclusive content, and my eternal gratitude. Huge thanks to everyone who's rated, reviewed, and shared Please Me. Because of you, we're now the #1 sexuality podcast in the USA and worldwide. Your support amplifies vital conversations about pleasure, healing, and sexual empowerment. Keep the momentum going, leave a review, share your favorite episode, and help us reach even more listeners. This week, I'm shouting out 5 amazing countries where Please Me hit #1. Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines, Japan, and Great Britain. Thank you for tuning in and turning up the volume on pleasure. Prefer to read? Subscribe to my newsletter on Substack for exclusive updates and more Please Me related news. Please Me is for mature audiences, so sit back, relax, and surrender to the pleasure of Please Me.
It helps me with growth in general. But I think it's important to understand that when you get bigger, it feels good for, especially thicker, not necessarily longer, because most guys are long enough, right? But thickness really helps with pleasure because it just stretches the muscle, right? The vaginal wall.
Absolutely. And I love that you are very frank about the confidence that you have if you have a bigger penis, and that's something that I like to talk about a lot. Big dick energy, right? Big dick energy is the confidence that a man has when this big dick, it has to do with the confidence that you have in your sexuality that really translates to all areas of your life. And if we want to have the most confident experience in the boardroom or when you're giving a presentation or whatever that may be, trying to enhance your big dick energy or your big clit energy is going to help you in all of the areas of your life. ASN Lifestyle Magazine is your go-to source for sex-positive, sophisticated content covering everything from the swinger lifestyle and adult entertainment to intimacy, wellness, and more. You can read every digital issue for free, and subscribers get access to exclusive content. See the show notes for the link to subscribe and check out their Instagram. I'm excited to share that I now have a monthly column in ASN called Big Clit Energy, a Please Me series. Don't miss it and subscribe today. Welcome back to part.
Sweat moves you forward. Degree Antiperspirant is here to make sure it never holds you back. Clocking in, sweat. Lunch meeting, sweat. Biking home, sweat. Degree Advanced is for the hustlers who put in the sweat. The world's #1 antiperspirant with up to 72-hour sweat and odor protection. Degree, here for sweat. Try it today.
Once upon a mundane morning, Barb's day got busy without warning. A realtor in need of an open house sign. No, 50 of them, and designed before 9.
My head hurts.
Any mighty tools to help with this plight? Aha! Barb made her move. She opened Canva and got in the groove.
Bulk creating Canva sheets. Create 50 signs fit for suburban streets.
Done in a click, all complete.
Sweet!
Now, imagine what your dreams can become when you put imagination to work at Canva.com.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find
and
it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you.
Ooh.
Find your next ride at autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
What up, y'all? It's Joe Budden, here to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. You can get up to 100 times your money.
Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks app and use code SPOTIFY. That's code SPOTIFY on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
2 of this amazing episode with Sam Itshaki. Am I saying your name right? Itshaki?
It's pronounced Itshaki, but it's totally fine.
Itshaki. Thank you so much for correcting me on that, because the first time I said it, I thought, wow, that sounds very Japanese. Definitely doesn't sound Israeli.
Yes, the way it sounds.
Yes, exactly. So Itshaki. Okay, sorry about that. Who is
That's
the creator of Mr. Get Bigger Now. And if you watched our first episode, I highly suggest that you listen to that episode before you jump into this episode, because we were just talking about some types of products that you can use to enhance your erections. And we were talking about penis extenders in particular and penis pumps. And so Sam has a little show and tell for us this episode, which I'm excited to see. And that way we can really see what these products look like and how they actually work. And so if you are listening and not watching this video right now, I suggest that if you can, watch the video to watch now, because this part is going to be, better to be watching than listening. But if not, you can go back and watch it another time. So let's first talk about, because we were just talking about the penis, the extenders. So let's look and see what one of those looks like.
Okay. So this is what an extender looks like.
Okay.
We have the base here.
Okay.
And that's the strap, which you use to secure the penis to the extender.
The head of the penis?
Yes, the head of the penis, yeah.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
I'll be using a dildo just to demonstrate.
Okay, very good.
No one's going to drop their pens here. Just
bring
it
up a little bit, because
sure.
I can see. Yeah, there you go, because your name and everything. Okay. So.
Okay.
All right, so
so that's a dildo. I'm going to put it through the base of the extender and through the loop.
Okay, so the loop fits over like the head of the penis.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you just secure it. You just tighten it.
Okay, very good.
That's how it's strapped the penis to the extender.
Held. Okay. And then does it extend? Like, do you pull it apart so that it kind of pulls?
Yes. So when you put the penis into the extender, you compress it here, and then you put the penis through and secure it, and then you release it. And so it stretches the penis a little bit.
So it's giving you some traction.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And you want to wear this for, you said 30 minutes at a time?
30 minutes at a time. If you can wear it for hours total per day, you will see results very quickly.
Okay.
And a lot of it too. My wife begged me to stop, and I did about a month later.
She's like, that's enough. That's enough extension.
Yes. She's like, you can use a penis pump. It's okay. Girth is always welcome, but enough with the length. Penis pumps work for both girth and length, but you do get more girth than length. So if someone just wants length, they should go with the extender. If someone wants all of those amazing benefits that using a penis pump regularly gives you, things like, reversing atrophy, reversing shrinkage, increasing the blood carrying capacity, and getting bigger and faster erection, then go with the pump. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, let's look at the pump. Let's do some show and tell with the pump as well, because I think that a lot of people are not familiar with what a penis pump looks like. And I will say, too, that if you're using a penis pump, you have to be careful where your testicles are at the time of pumping, right? So make sure that, you secure your testicles away from the pump itself. You don't want your testicles to get pulled in to the penis pump itself because it can be very painful. So with that being said, go ahead and let's see what your penis pump looks like.
Yeah, that's a very good tip. And actually, the number one reason that you would have a scenario like that or a problem like that is if you use the wrong pump size or the wrong tube size. So we have different tube sizes.
Okay, this is a good point.
Yeah, we have 4 different sizes. And you can just change the pump itself. So you can just click the pump into this cylinder, and when you use this cylinder or a tube for a few months, what will happen is you'll eventually hit the walls of the cylinder. And when you do, that means you have no more room for growth. So that means it's time to upgrade. And so what you can do with our pumps is you can just get a bigger tube instead of buying the whole pump and tube system. And you just plug it in on top of that cylinder. So it's very easy, very pluggable, like that. And let me actually turn on for you so that people who watch it at home can actually see what it does.
So great point. And I love this particular penis pump because it has multiple sizes. And yes, that is one of the issues that I've heard from some of my patients. And, if you have very delicate testicles, you don't ever want to do that again, and so trying to encourage people to use it on a daily basis, the first experience has to be a good experience. And I think that's really important. And so thinking about the size of the tube is important. And I love that you said if it's starting to touch all of around the whole circumference, then you need the next size up. So these are ways that people can sort of progress and, get that enhancement that they're looking for.
Yeah, so when people get a penis pump, it's very important. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get some power here. So when people use a penis pump, it's important that they get the right one or a good one because there's a lot of junk out there. And my first pump was, I think it cost like $30. I just walked into an adult store. I didn't really expect to get a penis pump. I was just exploring to see what's out there, and I want to get something fun to experiment with. And so I ended up getting a penis pump, but it broke after a few minutes. And so that's been my experience. It lasted 3 minutes. And it was disappointing, but I did see what it can do, which got me very excited because I just thought it was the coolest thing. So a lot of pumps out there have this like one size fits all situation, which I don't think is a good one. And let me give you an example. So they use an oversized cylinder. Most people, this cylinder would be huge for most people, like 98% of people. And so what they do is they use a little gasket at the base that's squishy, and that makes it a one size fits all, right? The problem is that you're actually restricting blood flow when you use something like that. Now, think about if you're going to use a penis pump to increase blood flow and bring blood flow to the penis, why would you want to restrict it? It's completely counterproductive.
Right.
And so it's best to get cylinders that are completely open at the base. And so that way the blood flow can just rush into the penis very easily. Now, I'm just going to turn it on. So it's very easy. You just turn it on, set the pressure you want.
Okay.
And I'm just going to put it on my hand now.
Okay.
Okay. So as you can see, it's holding the pressure.
It's sucking, right? The suction, and it's holding onto your hand. Mm-hmm. And so same thing. Yes. You have to keep the base closed. It can't have like a little gap. Otherwise the air won't cause the sucking action. Go ahead.
Exactly. So that's when sizing is really important. So you want to get something that's open and doesn't have this restriction at the base. And you want to get something that's not too small because you want room for growth, but not too big so that air doesn't doesn't come through the sides, right? If it's too big, that's going to be an issue too. So you need to get the right size. The best way to do it would be to just measure yourself, and then you can choose a size based on your measurement, in the same way that you'd get a medium shirt or a large shirt depending on your size. I know with clothing, you know your size already, but it's very easy to measure yourself. And if you want the best results, that's the way to go about. So I've been using the pump for about, 20 seconds now. I'm going to remove it, and I want you to pay attention to the red circle that you see. That is pure blood flow.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that redness?
Mm-hmm, the red and purple,
so,
that's all the blood that was flowing to that one area on your hand. And that's going to be the entire length of your penis that's going to get that blood flow.
Yes. And for 10 minutes is, when you use it for 10 minutes is very different when you use it for 10 seconds. But essentially that's how it works. It just brings blood flow to the penis, and you just keep it there for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how long you've been using a pump. The longer you've been using a pump regularly, you can go higher with pressure, and you can go for longer, up to, let's say, 15 or 20 minutes even. Just when you start, you really want to go through what's called conditioning. You want to condition your skin, condition the penile tissue to just get all of that blood and get used to the vacuum pressure around it. So you want to take it very slow at the beginning and work your way up as you use it regularly.
These are all great tips, and I appreciate you giving us all of this great information. And I want to ask you a personal question, because you mentioned your wife the last episode, and she said, please, no more penile extenders because you're long enough, and that's good enough for me, right? I'm just curious, how has using these extenders and these penis pumps enhanced your sexual health?
So I love to try new things in general. So that kind of checks that box. It's not just in the bedroom, in general, right? In life, I love just trying new things and push boundaries. And, I think it helps us. It helps me with growth in general. But I think it's important to understand that when you get bigger, it feels good for your, especially thicker, not necessarily longer, because most guys are long enough, right? But thickness really helps with pleasure because it just stretches the muscles, right? The vaginal walls. And so I think it's important to understand that when you do that, it's more pleasurable for your wife or partner, but there's more friction for you too. It's more pleasure for both sides, not just her. So there's that. There's also the part where, it gives you an ego boost because you're bigger, right? It's really, I just want to give her the best experience I can. And this is obviously just a part of it, but it's an important part, right? It's important to get the right tool for the job. It's important to use it properly. Like you said, it takes women about 20 minutes to just warm up. So I think this is just as important as size. But I also think people sometimes ignore size, and it may be because most people don't think you can do something about it. So it goes into this category of, things we can change, and so let's just accept it and, enhance ourselves everywhere we can, right? And it makes sense if you can change it, but you can't. That's the thing. It's one of the biggest misconceptions. The penis does change in size, in performance, like we said in the past episode. As you age, your erection health and erection performance declines with rigidity, with size. So the same thing applies to the other side. You can get bigger. You can get more rigid by using certain tools regularly.
Absolutely. And I love that you are very frank about the confidence that you have if you have a bigger penis, and that's something that I like to talk about a lot. Big dick energy, right? Big dick energy is the confidence that a man has when and this big dick energy doesn't necessarily mean like that you have a big dick. It's just like the confidence that you have in your ability to pleasure your partner in the bedroom and your sexual prowess, right? So that is really what big dick energy is. But yes, absolutely. If you have a bigger member, you are going to have more, confidence, right? And that is something very similar to a term that I coined on the show called big clit energy, right? Doesn't have to do with the size of the clit. It has to do with the confidence that you have in your sexuality that really translates to all areas of your life. And if we want to have the most confident experience in the boardroom or when you're giving a presentation or whatever that may be, you know, trying to enhance your big dick energy or your big clit energy is going to help you in all of the areas of your life. Would you not agree with that?
I agree 100%. I think big dick energy or confidence applies everywhere because confidence is like the X factor in life. It's, you know, it's really from the bedroom to the boardroom. It applies everywhere in life. Ask yourself, would you ask for a raise, or would you speak up at a meeting, or would you give the presentation with confidence? Would you ask the girl out? I mean, it applies with everything in life. Confidence is super important. And so I think this is one way to increase confidence. It's not the only way, but it's one great way because we are so wired, for sex, right? It's something so primitive and innate to reproduce, of course, that, I think increasing confidence there is just so easy and it affects you so much in every area of your life.
Absolutely. And we've gone into, like the spiritual aspect and all of that. We're not going to get into that this time, but absolutely increasing your confidence in your physical ability can also enhance your emotional experience in life, your spiritual experience in life, etc. So I want to talk about another tool that we haven't yet talked about. And it's, I had another person on the show in the past that had a product called FirmTech. And it's something that you said you've actually tried. FirmTech is actually a cock ring. And what's amazing about it is that it is a digital cock ring that can measure the amount of erections that you have throughout the night. And this can give you information about your actual health. I'm not talking just about penile health. I'm talking about whether you have the propensity to have a heart attack or stroke in the next year if you're not having enough erections throughout the night. So can you just talk a little bit about your experience with FirmTech? Because I think it's such an amazing tool that we can use to really understand the health of the penis. And I like to use it in my practice before and throughout the treatment. That way it gives us a baseline for where we're starting from. And then as we are doing the treatments and doing the protocol and doing the acoustic wave therapy, which helps to increase blood flow to the penis, etc., we can see how it's changing and improving. And so it's a great tool for diagnostics as well. So I would love to hear your take on how you've used it.
Yeah, first of all, Elliot Justin, the CEO of FirmTech, is a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And I think his work is absolutely groundbreaking. What he's done is it's never been done before. The current way to measure erection performance, nocturnal erections at night, is just so, it belongs to the dinosaur era. I mean, I'm exaggerating here, obviously, but it's just the way it's done in a hospital with something that breaks if you get an erection. It's just not good enough. So he's seen this vacuum in testing, and he understands we can do better. And he created this amazing little device that is a constriction or cock ring, which also enhances your erections, by the way.
Yes.
But at the same time, you can wear it at night to measure nocturnal erections, which are they're highly correlated with erectile dysfunction. So if someone doesn't get nocturnal erections at night, that means they definitely have erectile dysfunction. It also means their cardiovascular health needs to be checked for sure, because it's not normal. And actually people, before they get a heart attack, a few weeks before, they get 0 nocturnal erections. So I think it's something that really everyone should, especially as they get older, should kind of pay attention to. So you can use this device, the FirmTech ring, to measure nocturnal erections, meaning erections that happen at night during REM sleep. And also you can measure your erection performance during sex. So things like rigidity and duration. And so you can use it as, like you said, as a baseline. You can do certain things like the watermelon challenge that you mentioned in the last episode. Or you can, if you're taking medications, for example, you can stop taking them and see how it affects you, how it affects your erections. So things like that. You can use it to diagnose your erection performance, to see what improves it, what makes it worse, and really get to the root cause of the problem, because that's what we're all about. It's really, when it comes to health, especially erection health, you want to get to the root cause of the problems. So erectile dysfunction can be caused by venous leak, which is just muscle atrophy. It can be caused by blood flow issues, which acoustic wave can help, right? Or penis pump. It can be caused by hormonal issues, right? Like lack of testosterone. It can be so many different things. And by going to a urologist and getting a pill prescribed, you're not only just taking the easy route, which has plenty of issues, the side effects of pills, the fact that they don't work for everyone, the fact that if they work for you, they can stop working for you in the future. It's very common, actually. And so, I'm not against people taking pills completely. I think it's a tool in someone's toolbox. But if you can leave it for much later when there's no other choice, you should, right? And instead, get to the root cause of the problem, which pills mask, right? If you have a problem, any of those root causes can be the issue here. If you take medications and you get a good erection, you have no reason to now get to the root cause of the problem. You have no reason to check your testosterone. You have no reason to check if it's a blood flow issue or venous leak. And so you're also masking the problem. So I think it's best to avoid pills if you can, and just try and get to the root cause of the problem and fix that, because that will give you a long-lasting erection for much longer. And, again, penile health and erection health is part of your overall health. Wouldn't you want to be healthy, overall anyway?
Absolutely. We're talking about longevity here, and we want to be able to experience pleasure well into our 80s and 90s and beyond, right? Yep. And so absolutely looking at the root cause instead of just doing like the magic pill. And, oftentimes a lot of people will do that, and they'll use the pills for many, many years, right? So they're having erectile dysfunction, but they're masking it with the pills for many years. And then suddenly, oh, well, the pills stopped working. And guess why? Because maybe all of the blockages are just too blocked up right now, where you can't get any blood flow to the area anymore. And you're going to be, having a heart attack in the next few weeks or in the next 6 months. You know what I mean? So it is very serious to look at your erectile health in an overall general way, for your general health as well. It's not just about the penis. And yes, maybe men just want like a bigger and longer and thicker penis, and that is fine to want that. But also looking at it in terms of it being something that can diagnose, further issues down the road, and not just covering it up by just popping the pills, but looking at it more deeply to try and get to the root cause. So I love that you focus on that. That is so, so important.
Thank you. And vice versa. You also look at things from a very holistic perspective, and that's the way to do it.
Absolutely. I mean, unfortunately in, the modern day, medical industry that we, happen to be part of, right, or live in, there's a cardiologist for your heart, and there's a dermatologist for your skin. And then there's like, whatever. We break the body apart into all of these different specialties, but really our bodies are completely interconnected, and we need to stay healthy from head to toe in order to have general health and longevity, and not just longevity, but like really being vibrant and vital till the very end, right? And part of that is really trying to keep our sexual health as healthy as possible.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. And so with that being said, I want to jump into our role play now. And this season, season 6, we're going to be doing the role play a little bit differently. We are going to be talking specifically about a role play around, quote unquote, the ick, right? And the ick is, that feeling that you get when you are maybe newly dating somebody, or it could be somebody that you've been in a relationship for a long time with, and suddenly like topics are coming up, like, bowel movements that are giving you the ick. Like, I don't want to talk to this person about that, whatever it may be, right? There are certain things that can give you the ick. And how do we address that? How do we talk about that conversation and truly try and get to the other side of that, where you're feeling more comfortable? You're not getting that sensation, that icky feeling. You don't want to have that icky feeling about somebody that you are actually sexually active with, right? Or want to be. And so we are going to be talking about the ick. And Sam is going to be a friend of mine. We're going to be out at a bar, just having a conversation. And I'm going to be telling him about something that gave me the ick with a new like potential partner that I just recently met and started dating. Okay. Okay. And so that is going to be our role play. All right. So are you ready? Any other questions?
I'm ready.
Before? Okay. All right. Here we go. And action. Sam, thank you so much for meeting me tonight. I'm so excited to have a drink with you and just, talk about what's been going on in your life. How have you been?
I've been great. Yeah, I'm excited to catch up with you. It's been a while.
It has been a while. And I wanted to ask you specifically about this issue that I've had sort of recurring in multiple, new relationships. And I want to be able to like have a conversation with these potential partners because they are really giving me the ick.
Oh, what are they doing? You got me curious now.
Yeah. So I have experienced this multiple times, and when it happens, I'm always so shocked. And I never really know what to say, but I know that it does give me the ick, and I don't want to continue to have this experience. And so what gives me the ick is when a man sends an unwanted penis pic or an unwanted penis video of himself masturbating. And to me, that gives me the ick because it's not something that I asked for. They didn't give me any heads up saying, hey, would you like to see? And, I've seen a penis or two, so I know what penises look like. I don't need to see every single person that I'm dating's penis before we even get to that point in our relationship. So I'm just curious to know if you've ever done that for anybody and what your experience has been.
A message from McAfee. Wondering why the post office is texting you or why you owe thousands of dollars in toll fees? Because someone's trying to scam you. The good news? McAfee can help. With McAfee's award-winning scam detection, it's easy to tell what's real and what's fake over text, in your inbox, and online. If they're
You want a free gift?
Seriously? If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal.
Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Got a car to sell but no time to waste? Hop on to Carvana.com to get a real offer for your car in seconds. All you have to do is enter your license plate, answer a few quick questions, and if you accept the offer, Carvana will pay you as soon as you hand the keys over. They even offer same-day pickup in many cities. Save your time, score some cash, and sell your car the convenient way to Carvana. Pickup times vary. Fees may apply.
Whoa! That was a bop! Ooh, let's keep the party going with a claptrap public domain serenade! Happy birthday to you! Let's all loot and shoot! Ba-ba-doo-doo! Borderlands 4! Well, that kind of fell apart toward the end. But you get the idea. Borderlands 4 is out now! Buy it! Buy it, buy it, buy it!
Rated M for mature.
I thought you were going to tell me that you're having dinner with someone and they chewed with their mouth open. I thought it would be something like that. But yeah, I guess we are in the digital age and people do that. I personally have never done it. I think those are very personal pictures or videos, even worse. I think it will just end up in the wrong hands at some point, being backed up in the cloud and everything. The last thing I want is my sister going through my camera roll or something, and just seeing that. But more importantly, I don't think it's appropriate to send it to someone you've just met. I mean, you're probably not there yet, right? I'm assuming you haven't had a sexual relationship with them yet.
No,
right?
Not yet. And that's why it's such a shock, because it's like we're not even to that point in our relationship yet where we're even talking about moving to that next level. And it comes so out of the blue. And I'm always like, oh, disgusting. Like, why? And I always wonder to myself, why do men love their penises so much that they have to show them off like it's like a prized possession, right? Do you have that experience?
I can kind of understand why they're proud of it. It's the easiest way to explain it would be to think of a muscle. Men build muscles and maybe they want to show it off. I think that's probably why they're showing it off. But I agree that it's not appropriate, especially if they haven't had that kind of relationship with you. I think they sort of jumped the gun, so to speak. No pun intended. It sounds like it may be welcome later if you spoke about it, or right. It sounds like it's something you would be open to it if they did it right. At a later point, if they ask for permission, you say yes, but not. I just don't think guys understand that it's shocking to women to just get something like that out of the blue.
Absolutely. And it's almost, I would say it's almost like, if you're walking down the street and somebody like just opens their jacket and flashes you and you feel, like you've been violated, it's almost that same feeling. And maybe it's somebody that you know and you're getting to know, but still it feels like a violation because it's unexpected and unwanted. And so I want to know, like, what you think I should say to the person to let them know that that is not okay with me. And maybe this is something that I should be having like a conversation ahead of time when I first meet somebody or at the beginning of relationships, so that I'm not getting these unexpected, unwanted, and violating pictures when I am not at all in that frame of mind.
Yeah, I think this is something you should definitely say early. But also, I almost think that if you don't, you'll find out who they are quicker. I just don't know if this is something you want to look as a red flag or not. Right? It really depends how you feel about it, like long term. So the question is, if someone did that, would you still be okay having a relationship with them after you have a conversation about it? What would you say to that?
I mean, like you said, it's the digital age, and I feel like it's something that's so common that I feel like if I were to eliminate every person that's ever done that, the pool would be so much smaller of people to date. And that doesn't even cover like using someone else's penis and pretending it's yours, right? Like that is a whole nother level of deception that maybe could be, you know, an ick for a different podcast. But I'm just talking about receiving, you know, a person's, you know, penis pics or whatever. And I think it's so common that really, if I were to say that's a red flag, that's an absolute no, it would eliminate a lot of potential people that I would want to date.
Yeah.
So go
from I would just say have an honest conversation, tell them how, you know, it makes you feel, and just explain to them that this is not you saying no to it at all. It just wait until we have that kind of relationship. You know, I will welcome it, but you know, you don't just say hi to, like, try to have them imagine meeting someone in real life and just exposing themselves to them. It's kind of the same way. How would that be received? You know, and so, yeah, I think, you know, the digital age and phones kind of put this barrier between men and women. And, but if they try to imagine it in real life, they would surely see that it doesn't make sense to expose yourself to someone you've just met. So I would just have a frank conversation, just explaining how it makes you feel when someone does that, and just explain to them that you will welcome it in the future if you get to that point, right, where you have a sexual relationship. But until then, you know, you're not interested and it does give you the ick, so don't do it. Just be very clear with them.
Yes.
Guys are very, very simple, so just be direct.
I love that. Just saying that gives me the ick and I don't want to see that until I'm ready. And I appreciate that because absolutely we can handle a lot more than we give ourselves credit for, right? And these conversations are so important to, you know, be able to be comfortable with the person in order to get to that point where you want to be sexually active, right? And so I appreciate your honesty with that. And with that being said, I'm going to say end scene. Yes, that was a good one. That was fun. And I'm actually,
that was fun.
Yeah, I'm actually loving this topic of the ick for these role plays. I think it's going to be a really fun season to talk about all of the different icks that can come up with either person.
I love it. First of all, no one asked me to do that on the podcast, so that's very creative. But also, yeah, like you said, there are so many different icks, and you know, I see more and more in social media. You know, I feel like it used to be just a few things, and now like everything's an ick. So I think it would actually be beneficial. It will actually bring value to both men and women to talk about. So I think it's great.
Fantastic. I really appreciate your insight on that. And not only is it fun, but it's also a way to sort of model these conversations. How do you bring it up?
Right.
You know, how do you bring up an ick so that you can let your partner know so that they don't do that anymore? Because you don't want to have that icky feeling. You want to be able to feel really good about the person that you're choosing to be with and to be sexually active with. And you don't want to have that recurring negative feeling coming up over and over again. So thank you for playing the role with me. That was a lot of fun. And I want to make sure that my listeners can find you. Where can we find you?
So you can either go to my website, getbiggernow.com. There is a free gift if you're interested. Or you can find me on every social media. It's at Mr. Get Bigger Now.
Okay, and I think you have it right there underneath your name at Mr. Get Bigger Now. Fantastic. And I want to make sure that my listeners can find me as well. You can find me on pleaseme.online for health coaching and intimacy coaching if you're a single or you are a couple. I also do physical therapy for sexual health conditions, as I discussed in this episode. If you're interested in the firm tech technology that we discussed, I have a relationship with that company, so you can reach out to me on pleaseme.online, go to the contact section and just send me an email, and we can have a discussion about that as well. And I guess that's it. So thank you so much for being on the show today, Sam. This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Until next time. I want to personally invite you to join me on Patreon for ad-free listening, bonus episodes, and early releases. Already there is a lot of bonus content on there with many webinars that I've done in the past and a show that I've never released to the public before. My show is completely self-funded, and when you are able to support me in this way, I'm able to spread my message of body positivity, self-love, and women's empowerment, and empowerment in general around sexuality around the globe. And so with that being said, I appreciate everyone who has already joined Patreon. And if you've thought about joining, now's your nudge to do so. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.